I really appreciate you allowing us to share with you some of the things that we've seen and some of the things that maybe we've even heard. Hey, my first experience with near-death experiences or near-death, evaluations was actually when it happened back in 1978. I was a seminary student at Lexington Theological Seminary, and I was on call one night and got called out, and I had to run across the campus to the University of Kentucky Medical Center. And when I got there was a gentleman in full rest, and I literally had a doctor on top of him, doing joint chest compressions, giving the good old thump, and the caps of epinephrine from the needles were all over the place. They revived the guy. I was kind of the liaison between him and his family and the docs, and I was in the room with him while all this was happening. And the doc came in shortly after that, and after I talked with the family to say, hey, we'll get you back there pretty soon. Doc comes in with a chart in his hand, and he reaches in his vest pocket for a pen, and he says, God damn it, I must have dropped my pen. Well, this guy on the gurney, just been revived, said, hey, Doc, it's underneath the gurney. Doctor said, excuse me? He said, yeah, it's underneath the gurney. Sure enough, the doc looked down. The pen's underneath the gurney. He picks it up. He gives me a tug on the sleeve and says, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Now, mind you, this is back in 1978. So ERs, the only thing they had back then was good old drapes. That was before HIPAA and everything else. So I came out to the nurse's desk with him, and he opened up this guy's chart and took his finger and pointed that this gentleman was, legally blind. So we went back and he said, how'd you know this? He said, Doc, when you were working on me, I was up on top of the room, and I was actually looking down over your right shoulder. Well, what do you reply to something like that? So that was my first experience of seeing and hearing and being a part of something like that, but it certainly wasn't my last. I don't think we can work with hospice without knowing these kinds of things and how they happen and that they do happen. And now there's all kinds of scientific experiments that are coming about that. The most recent book that I read was by a guy named Dr. Grayson. It came out in March of 21, called After. He's a psychiatrist, and he has made it his study to take a look at all these folks that have had near-death experiences and what they mean and how varied they have been. And I think you're having this meeting today to discuss some of those things. So I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to share this with you as well. Hope you have a good rest of the meeting. Yeah, take care.